Option number 2. Oh my... They look exactly the same, bro. Option number 2 is definitely not Moctezuma. This will be one of our most important videos because in this video, you guys will decide which commander we are going to expertise next in our Rise of Kingdoms journey. We have 3 options. We will discuss, I will explain you why these are our 3 options, and all these 3 investment options have advantages and disadvantages. We will discuss all of it, and what I want you to do is after you watch the video, please go down to comment section and tell me which one we should invest and explain me why. Without further ado, let's go.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Right, so there is a reason why Alexander Nevsky is on our screen right now, because he is our first option, option number 1. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of investing on Alexander Nevsky. The first advantage is quite obvious. He is the best legendary commander in Rise of Kingdoms at the moment, whether it's cavalry, archer, infantry, doesn't matter. Nevsky is a beast. And as free-to-plays and low spenders, if we are going to invest on a commander, we want it to be the best because we want to use it as long as possible. We don't want to invest on specific niche commanders. We want to be able to use this guy in many different events and scenarios in Rise of Kingdoms. So this is the major advantage, the major pro of Alexander Nevsky. But here is the con. My only possible pairing with Alexander Nevsky is Attila. Now Attila and Nevsky, don't get me wrong, they are an amazing pair. The tankiness, the counterattack damage from Attila, and the skill damage from Nevsky, they work so good together. They work in rallies, they work in open field, but there are 2 problems. Even though this pair is so strong, it's not on the level like Nevsky William or latest commander Prime Joan of Arc and Nevsky, so it's not the absolute best match. It's a very strong match, but it won't be the absolute best. And the second con is, if I invest on Nevsky at the moment and pair him with Attila, I'm pretty much wasting 690 sculptures because of Takeda. Now, Takeda is meant to work, is meant to pair with Attila only. Yes, you can pair Saladin and Takeda. They work, they're extremely tanky, but that's it. They don't offer much utility, they don't offer any damage at all. So Takeda needs to be paired with Attila, and if I do Attila and Nevsky, my Takeda will be sitting on the bench until I have a primary or a secondary for my Alexander Nevsky, because there are no commanders that I can invest to pair with Takeda. It's only Attila and Takeda. So the major con of investing on Nevsky for my account is that Takeda will be sitting on the bench if I invest on Nevsky and pair him with Attila. So this is our option number 1, Alexander Nevsky, and let's go to option number 2. Option number 2, oh my, they look exactly the same, bro. Option number 2, Pakal. Now, let me start with the cons of investing on Pakal. The first one, the first one is quite obvious. We don't even have Pakal. We haven't summoned him yet. We don't even have 1 sculpture for Pakal. But it is not a major con in my opinion, because in near future, just like any other MGE commander, we will have some other ways other than MGE to obtain Pakal, and then we can summon him and expertise him immediately. So this is the major disadvantage of right now planning, saving our sculptures for Pakal, because we don't actually know when we can summon him. But the advantage, the pro of Pakal is so good, and it is Harold Sigurdsson. We already have a fully maxed out, fully geared up. Where's his gear? Oh, why this is on? Oh, right, it's because he owns ballots. That's why he doesn't have the best equipment. But whatever, it doesn't matter. We have an amazing infantry gear for Pakal and Harold. And Pakal and Harold is not like Attila and Nevsky. They are the absolute best. The best primary for Harold is without a doubt Pakal. And the best secondary for Pakal is again without a doubt Harold. So pairing Pakal and Harold is just so perfect. The synergy is amazing, the counterattack damage is amazing, the tankiness is amazing thanks to Pakal. Even though Harold actually decreases your defense, still the tankiness, as I said, is crazy. So this is an amazing pair. But another con of this pair is similar to Takeda. Right now I'm using my Harold with Alexander, and if I get Pakal, Alexander will go to bench. Yes, I can pair him with YSG, I can pair him with Charles, Richard, but those players are just not that great anymore. So he will be most likely sitting in the bench, and I don't want that. I know Alexander is an early game commander. I know it's been a few years they released Alexander the Great, but his skills are just so good. Like, he is a perfect commander for open field. He's just not as, like, he's not on steroids like latest and greatest commanders, but he's still really good. He has the shield, he has the buff, he has the debuff, he has the movement speed. He is a complete package, but as I said, not on steroids. So not extremely powerful, but still very powerful for the field. But if I invest on Pakal, he will be most likely sitting on the bench, and that is another con of investing Pakal. But imagine getting Pakal Herald and having Attila Takeda together, like two most efficient marches in the game. They have crazy counterattack damage, they have crazy normal attack damage, and they are so good against swarms. So even in bad situations, we will get a lot of kills with these two marches only. Not only we will get a lot of kills, but also with the minimum hospital bills, which is amazing on paper. But I've also explained the cons of investing on Pakal. Now we are going to move on to our option number 3. But before that, if you think any of the information was helpful or useful so far, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. It only takes 1 second, but it helps the channel a lot more than you think. Thank you. And now option number 3. Last but not least, option number 3 is Prime Boudica, Queen of the Iceni. Now this girl is crazy. Like, she is extremely powerful. She has a lot of damage. She has decent tankiness with skill damage reduction, and plus she also has 30% defense bonus if you have fewer than 80% units of remaining. And 80% units of remaining, it's actually not that bad, especially in KVK, because usually you use army expansions and you can go up to 400 something units. Even 80% of that is still really, really good. So she's an amazing open field commander. She even has chance to dispel control effects such as silence from Guan Yu, or if you have an Artemisia, I don't, this can prevent Artemisia's self-silence. So just like Nevsky, Boudica is also one of the latest and greatest commanders, and she is extremely powerful. Now she has, other than being extremely good, she has a major con for me, and it is my YSG. I have used my YSG in early KVKs. Back in the day, I paired him with Alexander, but then I have transitioned my account into an infantry account. I've stopped using YSG because I invested on Guan Yu. I paired my Alexander with Guan Yu. Since then, YSG is on the bench because I don't have a good primary or a secondary archer commander for my Yisong. Now, if we invest on Boudica, we will have an amazing archer pair, Boudica and YSG, but there are actually three major cons, and we will get into that right now. I only have 175 T5 and 200 T4 archers. This is not a major con, this is a minor con, because as long as you have the speed ups, as long as you have the resources, you can just boom, 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 train as much as you want. Here is the main con. If I go back to commander page again, and let's actually find Boudica, I have no archer equipment at all. Yes, I have some blueprints, but it's not going to be as good as infantry or my cavalry gear, so I need at least 2 KVKs to gear up my Boudica. I have no gear, as I said, some blueprints, some gold, but won't be as good as other 2. We have a Helm of the Phoenix, we have a Chainmail, Archer Attack. What's this one? Now these are all cavalry, no gloves, no legs, no boots. Oh, we have this one, sturdy boots, archer defense, and that's pretty much it. The gear is going to be so bad on my Boudica and YSG. And this brings me to our next con, Boudica and YSG. When people sees this march on the field, they will just stop everything they do and they're just going to attack my Boudica and YSG. I do that. You do that, I know that you do that. If you're in Season of Conquest, everyone else does that. Now, it wasn't a major con because people were using XYs on the field and XY was still the primary target. But since then, since XY started to melt so fast in the field because everybody attacks them, people actually stopped using XY in the field, and now Boudica is the prime target. Everybody is just attacking Boudica, and if you pair her with Artemisia, who is extremely tanky for an archer commander, plus 20% defense, plus 20% health, and you will get extra 30% defense and skill damage reduction from Boudica, it won't be as bad as Boudica and YSG. Like, if we invest on Boudica, we will have to retreat and come back with this march. Like, every single second, we need to micromanage this march. So it is a huge target, right? We will get a lot of severely wounded. Yes, we will deal a lot of damage with this march, but in return, we will have a lot of severely wounded. It's not going to be like Alexander Nevsky. It's not going to be like Pakal and Harold. Hell no. But my YSG is sitting on the bench for so long, so our option number 3 is Boudica. Option number 1, Alexander Nevsky. Option number 2, Pakal. And option number 3 is Prime Boudica. Please go down in the comment section and tell me which commander we should invest, and please explain why. You guys need to convince me about our next expertise commander in Rise of Kingdoms. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you for our channel members. I see you on the next one. Bye.